I hope everybody's well. If you need to have a nap, have a nap. If you need to go, go. It's not going to offend me one bit. I'm here to speak to you. How long have I got? I'll be quick.
25 minutes?
12 and a half minutes. People need to go. Right, okay, so Matt asked me to speak here, and I thought, why? You know, I'm totally out of my depth. But I've worked in football. I played football, worked in football. I've worked with players and helped develop players. So I'll go through a bit of a journey. It's up to you to take. Is it really loud? It sounds really
No, you're
loud.
good.
Good? Okay. It's up to you to take what I say and put it into your context. What I'm going to do, I'll just quickly speak about my journey so far. And the title of this is like developing others. But my journey so far, and I've got pretty much three short stories, or 4 short stories I'll tell you. And then two final bits of content and connection and to feel, which is things that I live my life by and I think is very important. So firstly, I was an ex-professional football player. I played 150 league games, Championship, League 1, League 2, and another 100 odd games in non-league. The teams I played for, I started off at Cochrane, Alexandria, got released when I was 20. I joined Hayes and Yedding. I then got bought by Cochrane, Alexandria, went up 5 divisions, and I had 5 or 6 years as a professional before starting coaching. So I actually coached before I was a professional, but I'll get into that in a sec. So at 27, I was back in non-league, playing in the conference division, the National League now, which is the 5th tier, and I started coaching. I started doing my badges, and I got a job at Tottenham Hotspur. So I worked at Tottenham Hotspur for 9 years, worked with the under-11s, the 12s, the 14s, the 16s for 5 years, and then the under-23s. After that, in 2018, I joined the Football Association, the FA. I was head coach of England under-15s, the boys team, 15s, 16s and 17s. After that, which was in 2021, I joined Manchester United and I was the head of player development there. So I moved my family from North London up to Manchester. I've got 3 sons. We all moved up there. I planned to stay there for a while. There's me, one of the players, Alejandro Garnacho, when he was in the youth team. And then after 1 year, after moving the whole family up north, I got an offer to join Brentford Football Club as a head of coaching and first team coach. That's where I am now. So I'm responsible for the planning and preparation of the team to get 3 points every week. We play Everton on Saturday, 5:30, live on Sky Sports, tune in. Yeah, we're safe now as well, so I can relax a little bit. Not mathematically, but Luton need to win all their games. I'm responsible for the training. But what Brentford's what they value very highly is developing the players. So Brentford predominantly is a selling club. So they buy young players, coach them, train them, put them in the Premier League, and then hope to sell them at a profit. So part of my remit, working in youth for 14 years, my remit was to develop young players and help them improve, not just as players but as people, because ultimately the majority of them don't make it. So part of my job was to help develop citizens for society, and then if 1 or 2 can go on to grace the stages of the Old Trafford and Griffin Park, the G-Tech, then that's a bonus. Okay, so that's a bit about me. So first story, Western Boys. So my message to you is be of service. Be of service. So how can you help other people? How can you be of service to somebody? So Western Boys, this was in 1998. I lived in Edmonton at the time, and my friend owned the dry cleaners. I used to go and sit in there and just have chats with him all the time. His son was 9 years old and he couldn't get in the football team. The local team wasn't good enough. And there's a few boys where I grew up who couldn't get in the local team. So my friend Andy, who ran the dry cleaner, said, why don't we start a team? So we started a team. And I started coaching. That was my first introduction to coaching. So I started coaching this team. We had the players and we had them for 3 seasons. And it just made me think, like, when I think about this whole journey about me developing myself before developing others, that was my first introduction into coaching, and that was me being of service. I enjoyed it. It was a passion. I coached the boys every Thursday night in Muswell Hill Power League, and yeah, these kids now, not kids, they're men now. They're in their mid-30s, and that was my first introduction. So that really made me think about how can you as a person in your context be of service to other people. How can you help other people? How can, as you're helping other people, you help develop yourself? And in doing so, you're developing others. And I actually met one of the players about a year ago, and he was like, just the training was so good, it was this. I didn't know what I was doing then, I was just 17, I was just coaching. But that always stuck with me, that message. Second one, bold to be and bold on B. These are just little triggers for me. So I was playing for a team called Hayes at the time, and we was in the Ryman Premier League, and it was coming up to Christmas. I can't remember exactly the date, and we had a fixture at St Albans away. So I didn't actually have to go because I was suspended. I got 5 yellow cards, bad tackles throughout the season. But I decided to go, and I was sat there, and this is about being bold, everyone. So be bold. Be bold. My dad always said to me, the worst outcome you can get is a no. So I was at St Albans, I sat there watching my team, I'm suspended, didn't have to be there. The manager was quite pleased with there, saw that I was committed. And pretty much where Gemma's sitting now, as I'm sitting in the stand, there was a scout. And these scouts, they're looking for the best players in non-league to sign for their clubs. And they used to wear these big jackets, like a scout's jackets. You'd be looking to see what scouts are there. And he had a Crew Alexandra badge. And I thought, who's he here to watch? Who's this guy? I'm not even playing, what? What am I going to do? So I plucked up the courage, okay? Be bold, everybody, please, be bold. It might be today you need to be bold. And I went up to the person and I said, we'll say his name's Gemma. Gemma, I didn't know his name actually, what I'm talking about. So I went up to this person and I said, are you from Crew Alexandra? And he went, yeah. I said, who are you here to watch? And he said, I'm watching someone for St Albans. I said, you should be here to watch me. He said, you're not even playing. And I said, yeah, well, I'm the best player in this team, but I'm just suspended. And I got speaking, I got into him, and I was speaking, I was just being bold. I just thought, I'm just going to speak to him. I want to be a professional again. I want to go back into that level. Second half, I chewed his ear off, and at the end of the game, he said, okay, post me your fixtures, I'll come and watch you play. So I went home, had his address, looked at our fixtures, wrote them down, posted it, a letter to him. His name was Bill Berry, and he, as he said he would do, he came to watch me play. Matt wanted me to tell you the full story, which I'll go into quickly. He actually, when he wanted to come to watch me play, he was playing Enfield at home, and he didn't drive. So he got the train from Peterborough, where he lived, to King's Cross, 10 minutes away. But my dad had to pick him up and bring him to the game. So my dad picked up the scout, this is in 2002 or 3, and brought him to the game, and I played the game. We won 1-0, scored a penalty, and I went in after the game into the bar as you did in non-league, and there were people having a drink and that. And he first thing he said to me is, tuck your shirt in and pull your socks up when you play football. So that was me being bold. Cut a long story short, after 5 or 6 times he watched me, he recommended me to Crew Alexandra. I went up there on trial. I played 2 or 3 friendlies. I got signed, so I went from the Ryman Premier to the Championship and played 40 games that year in the Championship just from being bold. So like I said earlier, please be bold in your moments. The second time I was very bold was on my B licence, age 27, back doing my coaching courses. Now I'm back playing National League, this time at Hayes and Yeading. So this was like 7 years later, and I thought, I was on this course and I was thinking, okay, football career is going a bit downwards. I want to get into coaching. I was on this B licence course, there's lots of people doing the coaching badges. Doing the course, to get their coaching badge, and there was Kieran McKenna was on the course, who's now Ipswich manager, and he was a young player at Tottenham who just started coaching because he had an injury. And I was very bold. I went up to Kieran. I said, Kieran, is there any jobs at Tottenham? I need to get a job. I'll coach for free. I live in North London. I was bold. Paul Davis was on there, the Arsenal legend. I said, is there any jobs at Arsenal? Please speak for me. And what Kieran did, he spoke to his boss, John McDermott, who's now the head of the FA, and I got an interview. I joined Tottenham Hotspur from that interview. So my message, like I said, is please, when there's an opportunity to be bold, be bold. The worst outcome you can get is a no. And there's been several other times that I've been bold and I've got a no, I've been ignored. But I do believe in that self-belief that was mentioned, that boldness, and not being afraid to get a no. Okay, the next part of the coach, I put sponge, add flavour. What I meant by that was, in all my time coaching, I've worked for different people. I've always learned from every single person. Whatever environment you're in, it's very important you pick nuggets of wisdom up from different people. And I feel like one of my best qualities is being able to absorb and learn from others. And copy it at times, copy what they do. I watch what other coaches did. They did this, they did a session like that. Oh, that's interesting, they did that. I'd listen, I would be in a room, and I'd know when I'm in a room and not to speak and just listen. Quite self-aware like that, especially when I was with some of the people that are a lot more senior than me. But I'd always say to you in yourself, of course you can learn from other companies, organisations, people, but you need to add your own bit of flavour. You've got to add your own flavour, your own bit of spice. And this is part of the bit about being authentic. So first, be of service. Second, be bold. Third, be you. Be you. Be authentic. Yes, learn. Pick things up from that person. Pick things up from this person. Watch that podcast. Listen to that. But ultimately, when you stand there, you've got to be yourself. And that's the same with football players. When I coach football players, they can see through you. They'll see, oh, is he really any good? Is he? I'm not sure. Is that him? Has he just found that session? Is he? So I just think wherever you're going to go, be yourself. Yes, learn. Yes, pick things up. But be yourself. Be authentic all the time. Okay. Content and connection. So during lockdown, this is the bit where my brain's started going and thinking. During lockdown, I'm trying to compartmentalise all my thoughts. I've worked for lots of different people, different managers. I worked under Mauricio Pochettino at Tottenham. I saw how he worked. I worked with Gareth Southgate when I was with England, with the FA. Steve Cooper. I went with the national team on 2 camps. With Eddie Boothroyd on the under-21s. We went to Italy for the under-21 Euros. I've worked with obviously Thomas Frank at this present time, and I just felt like I wanted to put everything I've learned into some compartments, and this is what I come up with. And I felt that in a football context, but I'm sure you can digest it and put it in your own context, is everything falls into these 2 buckets of content and connection. And what I mean by that, content in a football context is what you know. So you might know your tactics, your 4-4-2. You might know your possession drills, your shooting drills. You might have all your qualifications. You might know how to coach heading. You might know all the bits of detail that comes with the hard skills, what you know. But what's equally, or maybe even more, I'll say more important, is how you connect, how you communicate, how you build rapport, how you build trust, how you get that buy-in, how do you get that belief. And I've always been a big believer in developing those skills. There's not a course for that, to develop self-awareness. It's not a course for emotional intelligence. It's not a course really for understanding people. And when you work in football, you work with all different types of people, all different players from all different parts of the world, different cultures, different ages, different agendas they've got on their mind. So even in this picture here, there's Alejandro Garnacho, who's born in Spain, Neil Maupay, who's a French player for Brentford, Marcus Edwards, who grew up in North London, he's now playing sport in Lisbon. And there's Keenan Potter, who's from Hull, all different people. You need to understand how to connect with them all. So yes, I've done all the courses, I've got my pro license, I've got a degree in leadership and management. Yes, I understand, I've studied football, watched the games, I've done study visits, I've been to Ajax, to Real Madrid, to Barcelona, I've accumulated all this knowledge. But if you don't know how to connect with people, if you don't know how to get a hook, if you don't know how to, what I call, take the temperature of the room. Okay, what's it feeling? What's the mood like today? What's the morale? What's the motivation? What does the group need today? Do they need, what type of coach do they need to turn up? I have a thing what I developed, I just made up. When I was at the FA, we called it the vibe scale. So what's the vibes like? I would say to a few of the staff, okay, what's the vibes like today? It's the vibe scale. Okay, we need to lift it. We need a bit more humour. We need a bit more laughter. We need to go outside. We need to cancel 2 of the meetings. We need to change the training and make it more fun today. I just think in your context, how can you take the temperature? How can you manage the mood? How can you look at the vibe scale? And also linked to this connection bit, as you can see, it's a passion of mine more than the content side, is how good are you at conversations? It didn't come natural to me. But are you good at asking open questions? Are you good at asking the right things? Do you know a little about a lot of different things? I think that's helpful. Especially in football and starting conversation, if you know a little about a lot. So you can hold a conversation, you can speak about different things, you can learn how to connect with the players. I feel that's just been an important part, and yes, you need to know your stuff. There's no point being brilliant at the connection part and not having any content, but there's no good at having all the content, having a PhD and everything, and you can't connect with the people you're working with. So that will go in your workforce, that will go with your people, how it goes. Okay, see, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anyone want to guess what to do and to feel is? Anyone want to guess? No? Okay. Matt? No, I'm joking. I had to write it down to keep getting confused myself. Okay. Ready? You need to work on what you want to do and how you want to feel, and work equally on both. That's something that I believe in. So you need to work on what you want to do, and work on how you want to feel, and work equally on both. Equal resources, equal budget, equal staffing, equal all the terms that you guys use in HR. I don't use in football. Yeah? Work on what you want to do and how you want to feel. And I was inspired by this when Leicester won the league. They won the league in 2016, and Claudio Ranieri kept talking about whenever they got a clean sheet, taking a team for a pizza. Taking pizza? What about your tactics against Man City? How about your shape? How did you defend low against Liverpool when they were... He said, no, we go for a pizza. So in my head, I was thinking, yes, his team's organised, the content, yes, his Vardy mid-block, Kante, drink water, long ball, Vardy, goal, content, they had that. But I think that connection bit, remember when they won the league, that the Sky went to Jamie Vardy's house with a massive party. You know, it was just like that connection bit. And I felt like, it made me think, and like I said during that lockdown period, I thought, okay, so they clearly knew what they wanted to do, but I feel like Claudio Ranieri built an environment, built a culture where the players were connected, where they also focused on how they wanted to feel. I heard that he gave multiple days off, where in football at times like, you've got to be in 14 days on a row. You've got to train, then you've got to recover, then you've got to go in the ice bath, then you've got to do this, and you've got to go in the chamber, then there's no balance. Whereas he had a clear strategy, in my opinion, without knowing it, I'm just guessing, by the way, a clear strategy about how he wanted his group to feel. So in your work context, yes, you got the plans, yes, you got the what was it, the strategic plan? Yeah? Strategic plan, you got that plan, you got the dossier, you got the PDFs, you got the books on the coffee table that tell you what you're going to do. You got everything there, but have you got that same strategy for how you want people to feel, or how you want the group to feel, individuals and collective? And have you got the and are you good? And it's not just let's all go let's go paintballing. You know what they do in football? Let's just go, okay, what we're going to do? We need to get everyone together. We'll go paintballing, archery, the freezing cold. That builds team spirit. No, have a clear strategy. Just have space. We at Brentford, we've got space just for talking. We the way the offices are laid out, there's lots of traffic. There's lots of informal interactions. There's lots of conversations that take place. It's not a rush. There's no separation of the B team and the first team and the youth team. There's lots of collision points, so people can have open conversations and be genuinely interested in speaking to people. By the way, if you're not, some people are not skilled in this area. Some people like to be by themselves, and that's fine. But I do feel like in your team you need to have some people who can navigate the room. Okay, and there might be a place for some people who don't navigate the room, but you need to be aware of that if you want to build that environment where you concentrate on what you want to do, but also how you want to feel. That's all a minute. Thank you very much. I hope you've got something.
Thank you.